Hi, welcome to Matt Talk, a video podcast for the friends and family of Coming First United Methodist Church from me, Pastor Matt. Well, today is Wednesday, May the 21st, and it is the 127th episode of Matt Talk. And I'm so thankful that you've taken the time to tune in. Well, the North Georgia Annual Conference will be called into session by Bishop Robin Deese on Thursday, June the 12th, and will conclude on Saturday, June the 14th, around noon. Coming First United Methodist Church will be well represented. The Reverend Gia Jones and myself will be our clergy delegates, and our lay delegates will be the chair and vice chair of the leadership board, or either alternate members of that board. We also have 3 persons serving as district at-large members for the Northeast District. They are Don Slater, Debbie Poss, and Jerry Harris. That means there are 7 persons who will be voting delegates at this annual conference from Coming First United Methodist Church. And before us, as an annual conference, will be several very important things. One will be the report from the One Georgia leadership team. I've had the privilege of being a member of that team, and with other persons from the North Georgia Conference and the South Georgia Conference, we've been exploring over the last many months the unification possibilities of the 2 conferences, South Georgia and North Georgia, into one Georgia conference. Since September, when the Southeast jurisdiction assigned Bishop Deese to be the resident bishop over both conferences, we have been sharing a bishop. We also did this for many years prior to September of 1988, when the South Georgia Conference was assigned their own bishop. However, if we unify into one conference, that will be much different than we have experienced before. There will no longer be 2 annual conferences in Georgia. There'll just be the one unified Georgia Annual Conference. You can find out more information about this at a special website that's been developed just for this information. It's at www.georgiaumc.org. Go there and look at the information that is there and about this process. So this year, there will be no vote at annual conference on this unification. The leadership team, of which I'm a part, will share a report at both annual conferences, and we'll ask each annual conference to affirm our work of this first report. It's projected that at the June 2026 annual conference, there will be a request for action on the final report. If that is affirmed, a request will be made to the Southeastern Jurisdictional Conference for a virtual special session to approve this unification. If the Southeastern Jurisdiction does that and approves our unification, then a joint special session of both annual conferences will most likely be called by Bishop Deese to celebrate and to prepare for this unification. The new Georgia Annual Conference would be official January 1 of 2027, with the first session of the annual conference being held June 9 through 11, 2027, provided that everything goes according to the proposed timeline and everything is approved. Another very important matter before this year's annual conference are 4 constitutional amendments. These amendments to our Constitution were passed at General Conference back in May of 2024. For the Constitution of the United Methodist Church to be amended, a constitutional amendment must be ratified by United Methodist annual conferences across the world. This requires the amendments be supported by 2/3 of the total voting membership of all annual conferences when combined together. So that means that all the yes votes will be added together from the annual conference sessions, all the no votes will be added together from all the annual conference sessions, and then it will be decided whether this amendment passes or not. Each of these 4 amendments also will have their own individual votes, so we will be voting on each one, meaning that some of these amendments may pass, some may not, or they could all pass, or none of them pass. The 4 amendments before us are worldwide regionalization, inclusiveness of the church, racial justice, and local pastor voting eligibility. Presently, in the United Methodist Church, we have jurisdictional conferences within the bounds of the United States, and bishops are elected and assigned at these jurisdictional conferences. However, outside the United States, there are central conferences. At central conferences, bishops are also elected, and parts of the Book of Discipline can be amended to fit the culture and context of that central conference. The United States is not a central conference. Thus, at General Conference, much business that pertains only to the United Methodists in the U.S. is endured by delegates from other countries. These delegates also vote on U.S. matters, although so much of this does not pertain to them. The Worldwide Regionalization Amendment was overwhelmingly endorsed by delegates from across the world at General Conference 2024. If this amendment is approved, the United States and all central conferences would become what would be called regional conferences. This will be a new thing for us in the U.S. All regional conferences will share a constitution, will still share our doctrinal standards and theological tasks, will share the ministry of all Christians and our social principles. Thus, our beliefs are not changing. There will also remain the Council of Bishops, the Judicial Council, the General Board of Agencies, and the General Conference. However, the General Conference will be transformed because there will be less business to conduct at the General Conference, thus making it most likely much shorter than it is presently. For more information on worldwide regionalization, check out the resources at ngumc.org/regionalization. Another amendment before us adds the words gender and ability to paragraph 4, article 4 of the United Methodist Church's Constitution. This article speaks of the inclusiveness of the church. This paragraph makes clear that all persons are eligible to attend our worship services, participate in our programs, receive the sacraments, upon baptism be admitted as baptized members, and upon taking vows declaring the Christian faith, become professing members in any local church in the United Methodist Church. The inclusions addressed in this paragraph are race, color, national origin, status, and economic condition. This amendment would add to that list the words gender and the word ability, so that persons cannot be excluded based on their gender or because one lives with a disability. A third amendment before us concerns paragraph 5, article 5, addressing racial justice. The amendment that General Conference approved strengthens our commitment by explicitly recognizing the Church's role in combating racism, racial inequity, colonialism, white privilege, and white supremacy, both within the denomination as well as within the larger society. The last amendment changes the wording of paragraph 35, article 4, which outlines the educational requirements for clergy members of the annual conference who are eligible to vote for clergy delegates to the General Conference. This amendment clarifies the meaning of an MDiv degree and specifies qualifying theological schools and their equivalents. For more information on all of these 4 amendments, please check out www.ngumc.org/constitutional-amendments-2025. It is important that we all stay informed as the annual conference meets, and it is especially important that we all stay informed about these amendments that will change our Constitution if approved, and be a permanent change to our Constitution until further amendments are made. So please read up and stay informed and know what's going on. And don't forget our covenant with one another and with God, promising to support Coming First United Methodist Church with your presence. I look forward to our work of worship together on Sunday, and I hope you do as well. And I also look forward to sharing with you our next Mat Talk. Until we see each other again, may the peace and the joy of Christ be always with you.